Ruslan.
All right, Justin Bieber just put out a new album, which I have not listened to. It's apparently called Justice. It has features from guys like Beam, who's produced for Christian hip hop artists in the past. And it sounds like it's a pretty big moment for him right now. Fair warning, haven't heard the song, may do a reaction to the Peaches single. I gotta listen to it. I honestly haven't been listening to a lot of music in general, but something else came out really cool this week of Justin Bieber apparently doing some prison ministry. Yep, you heard it right. Justin Bieber out here doing some prison ministry. How freaking awesome is that? So Complex just put this article out. I'll put it on a screen for you. Let me see if we can zoom this in a little bit. And apparently the word is that he was out with, says Justin Bieber took his evangelical mission to an LA prison. I do not like Complex, yo. His evangelical mission, like, what are you talking about, you goofs? Though he's fresh off the release of his 6th studio album, Justin Bieber managed to find the time to spread the good news. Oh, I don't like Complex. According to TMZ, the 27-year-old singer's RV was spotted Tuesday outside the California State Prison of LA County. The outlet did some digging and eventually confirmed Bieber and his pastor, I think they're talking about Judah Smith. Shout out to Judah Smith. I've met Judah Smith before. Solid guy. By the facility to support its faith-based programs. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation confirmed Justin's visit, or Bieber's visit, but did not provide any details on what exactly went down. Did he perform, pray, give a sermon? It's anyone's guess at this point. However, went on without a hitch and all COVID-19 measures were followed. Bieber also took to Instagram and Tuesday to share some inspirational, encouraging words about his faith in Jesus. My perspective of God has switched from fear to love. You are never too far from God. He's obsessed with you. And then they posted this thing, which I think this is really cool. Shout out to Biebs. The creator of the universe loves you so much that he came down in physical human form, lived a sinless life, experienced the pains of this world, was mocked and spit on and tortured, ultimately hung on a cross where he would take the punishment for our wrongs. He would then rise on the 3rd day, defeating death once and for all. Believing and receiving this truth has allowed me to live a life of true freedom, a life not fearful of death. I believe God is trustworthy. His character is consistently perfect. Your relationship with God can be a love story with the one who designed and created you and knows and loves everything about you. Shout out to the Biebs out here preaching the gospel better than a lot of preachers. So I thought that was really cool. Again, haven't heard the new album. Don't know if it's explicit. Don't hold me to that. I'm gonna listen to it. I'll give my thoughts on it. In general, I do think that stuff like this, going in and literally living out Matthew 25. What is Matthew 25? The end of Matthew 25, after the parable of the talents, Jesus says, hey, when I was in prison, you visited me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was hungry, you fed me. And they said, when did we do these things to you? And he says, when you've done it to the least of these, you have done it unto me. I think whenever any of us get the opportunity to go out and live out Matthew 25, specifically go to a prison, go and sit with people who have lost their freedom and encourage them and visit with them. And this is something I've done repeatedly, and I really do recommend it. I've performed in prisons. We went and did a whole thing at a boys prison where these guys were 13 to 17, and a lot of them were in there for violent offenses, and just talking to them, we performed for them. It was really, really impacting on us and on them. And so I love that Justin isn't just talking about it, he's actually being about it. He's going into the prisons. He's living out the end of Matthew 25. And I think this is awesome. And I think hopefully we see him continue growing holiness. Hopefully we see him continue living out his faith and his art. And I don't know what this album sounds like. I don't know how explicitly Christian it is. I have no idea about any of these things, but I'm encouraged by this, man. Like, I think this is really cool. I think the fact that he's this unapologetic about his faith is really dope. And I think the fact that he's hanging out with Judah Smith and pastors and all that kind of stuff, I think is really dope, man. So shout out to the Biebs. I don't know what's to come for this dude. I don't know is this gonna start looking kind of like the Kanye Sunday service things, where he's pretty much gonna throw his own crusades and rock a show and then have the gospel I don't know how this is gonna play out for him, but I'm excited to see him along his journey. And I would encourage you guys, man, pray for guys like this, because their access to excess is on a whole nother level, meaning that the access to sin and debauchery that someone like Justin Bieber has is beyond any of our understanding of what that life is really like. And also just pray that he would abide in Jesus, that this would be something that would continue to take deeper and deeper root in his life, and that he can continue knowing and understanding creative ways on how to live this Christian life out in the position that he's in. It's not easy for the average born again believer on this side of eternity. I could only imagine what it's like for him. But all in all, I'll keep it a buck with you guys. I'm inspired by this. I think this is super dope. And I'm hopeful that more and more people will be won over to Jesus through God saving folks like Justin Bieber. So those are my thoughts on it. Let me know what y'all. Guys, thank you so much. Here's the outro talking about the upcoming course. Hey, thank you so much for making it through the end of this video. If you enjoyed it and maybe you're feeling inspired to jump into some YouTube creator content, maybe you're an expert in the field, I have a super dope course coming very soon. No, it's not a $5,000 or $1,000 mastermind course. It's going to be extremely affordable. So that's on the way, but we want to give you guys a free training and PDF that's available right now. So be sure to opt into that in the description below or in the cards. Joshua the King came down and bore it all. Yeah. Conversations front of the fireplace. All of my mistakes, how do I erase? Wanna operate at a higher pace. Birth pains causing the body to dilate. On a first name basis with the worst pain.